Welcome back everybody for more Generator X Unveiled. Last time we analyzed Beowulf and got some interesting comment discussions going about what his origins truly were and how it might be tied to Kleiss. Today, we're gonna deep dive back into the past and journey to ancient Cairo, Egypt, to Van Kleiss himself and deeper into how his creations changed the world. But before, if you don't mind, the channel would gladly appreciate a like on the video. It helps us tremendously in getting seen in the algorithm, which overall leads to more exposure and better content. Now, after being ported back in time by Brief, Van Kleiss finds himself stranded in Egypt 4,000 years ago. Through his twisted machinations, Van Kleiss somehow finds himself in a suitable enough position that he constructs a lab and eventually brings to life the topic of today's video, Gharun Set. Gharun Set was an artificially created Evo, resembling a tall, jackal-like man, perhaps crafted in the visage of the Egyptian god Set, hence his namesake, or potentially could have inspired the Generator X version of the Egyptian pantheon. We don't really know. Gharun Set is regarded by Van Kleiss himself as his greatest creation, and how he created him is still unknown. But there are several things to note. Van Kleiss recreated modern-day technology, even having devices that Caesar had only just invented the year he was sent back in time. And we know there's already the theory involving Beowulf, which is that Van Kleiss is capable of engineering sentient evos. However he came into being, Gharun Set, for his brief showcase on screen, left many questions about the power of nanites and what role they actually played in human history. Though he's first shown in Season 3, episode Riddle of the Sphinx, Gharun Set chronologically first appeared in a flashback during the episode of Brief History in Time, where Van Kleiss, after preparing his stasis coffin, because we've learned this wasn't a time machine, Van Kleiss tricks Gharun Set and abandons him, sealing him within the pyramid. Van Kleiss additionally even states that he regrets he didn't have the time to properly dispose of Gharun Set, and that this betrayal is eventually what became the entirety of the Riddle of the Sphinx episode. Gharun Set, centuries later, still slumbers beneath the city of Cairo until Dr. Holiday and Providence breach the tomb. Oddly enough, Gharun Set doesn't actually even move or acknowledge his new guest until Black Knight makes an offhand comment about him being long dead and gone, which he responds by viciously gripping her throat and declaring he is in fact not dead. And another cool feat here, he outright beats Agent 6 in close combat, even disarming him, which is actually insane given 6 can fight Evos like Beowulf or Brief, or even take on a group of the most dangerous people in the world at once. Here Gharun Set boasts that 6's blades weren't enough to reach him and that he laid low the armies of 7 kingdoms, which does give a little light to his past life. It's likely Van Kleiss sent Gharun Set out into the world to conquer and claim any resources he needed for his experiments. Gharun Set even refers to himself as the pharaoh, so he could have even been the standing face of Van Kleiss's control of the past population, who knows. After being trapped in the pyramid for ages, Set's immediate goal is exiting his tomb and reclaiming his kingdom. And he then demonstrates he can activate latent nanites by reviving the mummified dogs in his throne room, which automatically attack our protagonist. And when he clashes with Rex, it's shown his staff is actually a nanite disruptor because he could deconstruct Rex's machines. But here, Gharun Set also remarks that like Rex, they both could control the machines of life. Gharun Set even goes further, escaping the tomb, and roars at his father, who we know is Van Kleiss, for forsaking him and placing obstacles like this in his way, which is also mentioned earlier in the episode, when the tomb god explained to Dr. Holiday that the ancient pyramid was actually built like a maze, almost like it was built to keep something in, not out. And while we don't know much about the relationship between Van Kleiss and his creation, we can assume Van Kleiss did his usual projection of confidence and authority, likely making empty promises about some grand design or scheme that Gharun Set would be an important part of, and when he no longer serves any use, just like every other person in his life, Van Kleiss tossed Gharun Set away. Now, after a failed attempt at a reboot of the Mummy, Gharun Set frees himself and for the first time in thousands of years, gazes upon the sky in his kingdom of Egypt with disgust. Gharun Set here is likely disgusted that the world promised to him by Van Kleiss is not here, or is no longer here. As I believe, he clearly already understood that Van Kleiss had for whatever reason abandoned and betrayed him. But returning to a new world literally built on top of his, sets Set into a frenzy, He claims that he shall retake his kingdom, and his first stop was the ancient Sphinx, which Rex reminds him is a statue, and to no one's surprise, Set reanimates the ancient Sphinx, which is what I would assume was always his mount, a 50-foot tall two-headed cat Evo. This is not the end, however. Whether Cairo had been laden with nanites or Gharun Set had a vast amount of them to control in general, he proceeds to unearth massive pyramids that not only dwarf the pyramids of Giza, but also dwarf the city of Cairo itself. With so much power, it's no wonder Gharun Set was worshipped as the pharaoh. He was naive because he was betrayed by Van Kleiss, but he was clearly a skilled warrior who could shape the very environment around himself. It's clear why Van Kleiss wanted to dispose of him, because next to Rex and Breach, Gharun Set was one of the strongest Evos to ever exist. It's after beating back not only Rex, but also 2 Providence fighter jets that reality sets in. Like the mummies he commanded to attack Rex, Gharun Set's control of nanites, or more specifically, his nanites themselves, started to fail and break down in the dust. Rex compared it to starting up an old car, meaning Gharun Set's nanites had likely started to decay and lose power, and a sudden jump start of them basically is going to cause the entire system to crash. It's at this moment, Gharun Set begins to exposition though, about how Van Kleiss had told him about Rex, about Providence, about Black Knight and their trickery, and how he now sees that the present world is nothing but a world of lies. And even though Rex tries to reason with him and help him because he understands being sent to a foreign time, although not 4,000 years in Gharun Set's case, Gharun Set still refuses and reiterates that this world was not made for him and Rex and was nothing but a world of lies. And as his nanites fail, he scatters to the wind. And thus the end to the short and tragic tale of Gharun Set. But also, one that emphasizes what I've said in previous videos, Van Kleiss is dangerous, likely the series' greatest villain and threat to humanity. Even 4,000 years in the past, with limited nanites and depowered, Van Kleiss not only created a being of Gharun Set's caliber, a literal god in his own right, but was still able to twist another naive mind. Gharun Set truly only wanted answers. His damaging of Cairo and subsequent battle with Rex was out of desperation. Van Kleiss, in my opinion, left Gharun Set knowing full well what his fate would be. And the terrible conclusion to this story truly is that no one found out. When Black Knight destroyed Van Kleiss's lab and took the slab depicting him, it actually was never revealed to Rex and the group, only to us as the audience, and that Van Kleiss was actually indirectly responsible, well, directly responsible for all of this. All of this, the entire episode, the entire shaping of probably that entire province of Egypt came from Van Kleiss's influence. But I could talk about twisted ways and twisted machinations of Van Kleiss forever. Good thing I made several videos on him, so check those out if you guys want further deep dives on him specifically. But with that, everyone, I would like to thank you for watching, and always remember, stay safe and stay sane.